By March 2025, I had already invested more than $100,000 into this project. That doesn't even include the purchase price of the house. The renovation looked almost finished. I thought the next step was obvious. Put the house on the market, sell it, pay off the loan, move on. But my partner had a different plan. He started explaining how the house was going to be sold, and the more he talked, the less sense it made. And by the way, the house was in my name. Around the same time, Mark sent me new photos from the house. The siding was finally installed. Black panels, the same style he had shown me earlier. I didn't study the photos too closely. The siding was up. That's all I cared about. To me, it looked like the project was finally coming together. I had no reason to think anything was wrong. It all started with the gas. The gas company had finally told us exactly what they needed: a service installation record and a pressure test from a licensed plumber. For the first time in months, there was no guessing, just a simple checklist. I thought we'd get it done in a few days. Instead, everything fell apart again. One day, Mark told me they already had the paperwork. The next day, they didn't. Earlier, Mark had told me the plumber who connected the water line only worked on water, not gas. So I spent days calling other plumbing companies. None of them wanted to perform a pressure test on gas lines they hadn't installed themselves. Then everything changed. Mark called and said the plumber was already at the house, not doing the pressure test, replacing the entire gas line from the street to the house. I stopped him. I asked a simple question. Why? The gas company never asked for that. I wanted to speak to the plumber. Mark told me he didn't have his phone number. He said all communication went through his realtor. That made no sense. The person managing the renovation wasn't even talking directly to the contractor doing the work. I told him to get me the plumber's number. When I finally spoke to the plumber, the work had already started. The trench was open. The old gas line was already out. There was no point stopping it anymore. Then Mark asked me for another $4,000 to finish the work. I sent the money, but at that point I couldn't hold it in anymore. I asked him, "What exactly are you doing on this project?" He didn't answer the question. Instead, he started talking about selling the house. He said we should put it on the market as is, finish whatever we could, sell it, move on. I agreed. I wanted to sell the house too. That phone call was over. I told Mark we were done. We would sell the house, split whatever was left, and go our separate ways. Later, Mark sent me a message. He said his realtor would handle the sale. Then he explained how it would work. The house would be sold. The money would go to his account first. Then he would send me my share. I read it once, then again. It felt like they had made all the decisions without me. The house was in my name. The loan was in my name. Every payment had come from me. But somehow they had already decided who would sell it, how the money would be distributed, and nobody had even asked me. I told Mark his realtor wasn't going to sell my house, not after the way he had treated me. Even during the purchase, I had called him several times. He never answered. He never returned my calls. He never replied to my messages. Mark told me his realtor deserved to sell the house. He said he had helped us with the project. He had found contractors. He had negotiated a discount when we bought the house. And now he wanted to make money on the sale, too. That was my last straw. I remember thinking, you guys have already made enough money on this house. That's enough. From this point on, I'll handle it myself. I called my hard money lender. I explained everything that had happened, the argument, the message, the way Mark wanted to handle the sale. He listened. Then he gave me the contact information for a realtor he trusted. I called her the same day. She told me she could help sell the house. The first thing she needed was access to the property. At that point, I still believed the house could sell for around $170,000. I still planned to split the profit with Mark, just like we had agreed from the beginning. I wasn't trying to cut him out of the deal. I just didn't want his realtor involved anymore. After everything that had happened, I no longer trusted them. All I wanted was to sell the house, pay off the loan, split the profit fairly, and move on. The only thing we needed now was the key. I sent Mark a message. I told him I had found my own realtor. She would be selling the house. All he had to do was give her the keys. He refused. He said he wasn't giving the keys to anyone. If I wanted them, I had to come and get them myself. Then he added, "While you're here, you can finish the rest of the work yourself." Then the messages became even stranger. He told me the plumber had charged $4,000 for the new gas line, but he had only paid him $2,000. He wrote that he had kept the other $2,000 for himself. "At least I'll get something out of you." Those were his words. Then he told me I still owed the plumber the remaining $2,000. He said the plumber could file a lien against the house, and that he would file one too. He kept refusing to hand over the keys. He started insulting me. The whole conversation made less and less sense. The strange part was, I had never told him he wasn't getting paid. My plan hadn't changed. Sell the house, pay everyone what they were owed, split the profit, and walk away. But by then it was obvious we were no longer dealing with the same situation. I had to make a decision. Flying to Pittsburgh wasn't an option. I was still driving a truck. That's how I made money, and I needed that money to live. I had my own bills. My family had expenses, and the house kept costing money every single day. Nothing stopped. If I stopped working and went to Pittsburgh, I could probably finish some of the work myself. But every day I spent there would be another day with no income, and I couldn't afford that. As far as I knew, the project was almost finished. That's what Mark had been telling me. The gas. A few small things. Then we would sell the house. So I found another solution. I called a property management company near Pittsburgh and explained the situation. They transferred me to the owner. He told me they handled situations like this all the time. First, they verified that I was the legal owner of the house. I sent them the documents. They checked everything. Once they verified that I was the legal owner, they agreed to help. He told me, "Pay us $200. In a few hours, you'll have access to your house." That same day, they went to the property. They drilled out the locks, installed new ones, put a lockbox on the door, placed the new key inside, and sent me the access code. I also asked them to record a video while they were inside. Just a quick walkthrough of the house. By that evening, I had control of access to my property again. I sent Mark a message. I told him the locks had been changed. From that moment on, he was no longer allowed to enter the house. He immediately started threatening to sue me. By then, I had already made my decision. I didn't know how I was going to finish the project. I had never managed a renovation like this remotely before, but I knew I was going to do it myself. The property management company sent me the video later that day. I watched it quickly on my phone. It was hard to judge much from a short walkthrough. The house looked mostly finished. Even then, I could already see signs of sloppy workmanship. Small things. Nothing that seemed critical at the time. I still believed we were close to the finish line. I had no idea what I was about to see next. The next day, my realtor went to the house. She spent hours inspecting every room. When she called me afterward, the first thing she said was, "Yes, money was spent on this house, but a lot of it was wasted." She started pointing out problem after problem, things that immediately stood out to her. Then she sent me the photos, dozens of them, close-ups, detailed shots, every defect documented. I started opening them one by one, and with every new photo, I realized I had been looking at this renovation through the wrong lens for months.